antes, pues aquí estoy. Total catastrophe, and it is a crisis. Of a child, right there. All these NGOs, you're fake. It is this, the crisis of children. How's everybody doing? Good morning to everybody. It is Tuesday, April 16th of the year 2024. Well, this news has been going around the whole country and the whole world now, and basically proves what we have been talking about for years, that this was eventually going to happen. This was eventually going to be the situation which it was going to be the next incoming strategy. But not only that, we talked about this for years, and we said this to the people, and I remember I was asked in the year 2018. I was asked by a journalist right here in Tijuana, a really well-known journalist right here. And he told me, Oscar, why do you think that this is happening? And I said, in the far future, they're going to try to use these people to vote. And he said, that's impossible. That's against the Constitution. They're going to try to use us as to destabilize the borders, to make us look real bad. But ultimately, the Democratic Party is going to try to use us, the Latino population, for their votes in exchange of letting them into the country of the United States and living in unfathomable conditions. And, this is what has happened. This article is in Spanish, but it's really, their perspective, it is extremely, put into their narrative. It says the illegals are being used to vote for Biden from Mexico. They're instructing them. And this is HIAS, which, for everybody that is watching, just recently we took a trip to Panama, and we visited the migrant camp of Bajo Chiquito, where we saw HIAS promoting a map to the migrants of how to enter through the jungle in the parts of Capurganá, Acandí, and Turbo. Those three places are controlled by the Clan del Golfo, one of the most violent, relentless, and dangerous cartels in the world. And HIAS was promoting for these people how to enter to these places. After this map got exposed worldwide by different people that they were there, ultimately, the map was taken off and was removed. But now we get to understand that HIAS is building a migrant camp in Matamoros, a border that is next to Texas, in the parts of Eagle Pass and Del Rio, Texas. And they're building a migrant camp, which in those migrant camps, I'm not going to say that it's a bad thing. They're finding these people jobs in Mexico before they go into the United States. But the most amazing thing is what this manifesto, or this statement, or this informative thing right here that says this was posted by Oversight Project. But this right here says Center of Assistance in Matamoros. I will translate right here what it says. Let me just remove this and put the other thing. So I will translate immediately for you guys. There we go. So you see this banner right here. This banner right here, let me just translate what it says. And it says Center of Assistance in Matamoros. It says on the bottom, welcome all migrants. The Center of Resources is an example. It's a complex of 6 units offices, which is the place in the home of HIAS, that it will bring legal assistance and also assistance to receive and obtain formal documents on your search for employment and integration to the city of Matamoros. In the meantime, that you are looking for access to proceed the asylum into the United States. We support our team, the legal team, to all the measures possible, including the follow-up or the close reach out to the camp, to also give you the documentation to reunite with your consults before your appearances to the court in the United States. This is the aggravated thing right here that it says. And why I say that it's aggravated, because this basically is telling you what we have been talking about for years, that these political parties are using us, the Latino population, for their political gain and votes. I have said this multiple times. And they use us to give a bad image as a migrant to destabilize voters. And ultimately, they're using us for a political agenda. And on the bottom, it says here, it says this, reminding you to vote for President Biden. Holy cow. You're telling immigrants that they're coming into the country of Mexico, promoting as an NGO, interfering in elections from a foreign country in Mexico, and telling migrants that they're looking for a better life and using their vulnerabilities as an advantage to promote your political agenda and telling them to vote for Biden. By the way, this is not xenophobic. This is not transphobic. This is not creating hysteria, fear-mongering, conspiracy theory, white supremacists, white imperialists. This is not fascist, racist, narcissist, and bigot. For you to understand, to all you leftists, this is incentivizing irregularities to happen. If you're not an American citizen in the United States of America, you cannot vote in an elections of the president. What is this telling you? It is telling you that all these mail-in ballots, all these irregularities that are going to be happening in your country of the United States of America, it is a reality. They're going to use that, fast forward that, to use that to their advantage. And now use millions of people to use that. It is a reality. HIAS, it is promoting it. Let's go a little bit more further to what this manifesto, or whatever you want to call it, statement says. It says, reminding you to vote for Biden when you are in the United States. Son of a gun. We need another 4 years of his presidency to remain open. The founder, Gaby Zavala. My God, Gaby. The cynical, man. You are really cynical. And the thing that I would say about this is that reminding you to vote for Biden because if you don't vote for Biden, the business is going to be closing and we're not going to be able to help you. Business is going to close. We're not going to make any money. Right? Reminding you, like you, HIAS, telling migrants to enter the jungle through Capurganá, Acandí, and Turbo. Reminding you to keep entering the jungle. Keep risking your life. We will be right here waiting for you on the other side of the jungle when you come out. And we will be helping you. Reminding you to keep coming. Right? It's exactly like this. Reminding you to vote for Biden, because if you don't vote for Biden, our business will be closed. Basically telling you to all the migrants, and what we have been telling you, that these NGOs, they are human slavery. They're living out of human misery. That is what they're doing. Nothing else. They're using the Latino population for their political gain and votes. And this is an imperialistic way to build one political party and to completely destroy the opposition of the political party. In Mexico, it is happening right now. There's no opposition in Mexico. In Mexico, there's only the leftist opposition. And I believe that one radical leftist progressive has more possibilities to be a president than whatever conservative or whatever person that is normal. And I'm not saying that I'm not normal or whoever the other leftist is not normal. But if you believe in pro-abortion, if you believe in open borders, if you believe in transgenderism, if you believe on the pronouns, if you believe in global warming, if you believe on all this stuff, you'll be a great candidate. But if you don't believe in none of those, you're a horrible human being. You're just a white supremacist. This is the incredible thing. Now, it is more than obvious that the migrants are being used for a political agenda. And it's coming. It's coming. This can be international political interference. And it needs to be brought to the president of Mexico to tell the president of Mexico and also the mayor of Matamoros to say, what the hell are you allowing? Why are you allowing these NGOs to do this in our country of Mexico? Why are you allowing these American NGOs or run by the United States to come over here and incentivize foreign migrants to go into another foreign country and ultimately use that to vote? We need to bring this to light to the mayor of Matamoros, to the governor of those states, and completely bring the light to what these guys are doing. They're using their political agenda and using people. It is absolutely absurd. They are not concerned about helping. They're not concerned about how their families are doing. They're not concerned about anything else. They're concerned about, hey, and remember to vote for Biden, because we need 4 more years of his government, because if he doesn't, they already know. They say if he doesn't win, well, we have a really slight chance of a possibility to be coexisting. Why is that? Because if Donald Trump comes into office, he's going to stop your funding, stop your human slavery, stop everything that you're illicitly and illegally doing, using vulnerable people for your political agenda. Why you have to bring vote for Biden? Isn't this about asylum? Why you're using political affairs to embolden the mind of a migrant that is supposedly, on your terms, vulnerable and is running for persecution and wants a better opportunity? Why you're using their psychological vulnerabilities for your political advantage? And that is what you're doing. These people are coming vulnerable. They want access and immediate access to the United States. On those immediate terms, you are brainwashing these people to say, vote for Biden, because if not, we're going to be closed. Vote for him, because if not, we are going to be closed. It's unbelievable, really. I don't know until what point these NGOs are going to keep operating freely in our country of Mexico. I have said multiple times I have said this. I have said this multiple times. These NGOs need to be audited. Said it multiple times. NGOs need to be audited. There's no other way. Where the money is going, why they're using the money, and the purpose of them operating. and if they're in a way in cahoots with the organized crime in Mexico. It's unbelievable. If everybody knows, if you're not a U.S. citizen, you cannot vote for a president. But these people are already incentivizing an illegal activity to happen. And this is an NGO. You are telling migrants to commit an illegal act. Because in the law, it says that you cannot vote for president if you're not a U.S. citizen. Even residents, they cannot vote for president. I believe so. And you're telling migrants to vote for Biden. There's no justification for this statement. There's none. There's only the justification that it is obvious that you're using the vulnerabilities of people for your political gain and votes. And I have said this multiple times. You are using our people. This is what you are putting our people through. The Darien, migrating to horrible conditions, women being raped and abused, children dying, men dying, women dying. The extortion of migrants going through Central America. The extortion of migrants in Mexico and negotiating with the cartel for them to get smuggled into the United States. Open border policies and your global compact on migration have done this. And now you're taking this as an advantage for your political agenda. It is just completely disgusting. Completely disgusting. And I have said this multiple times. It is a time for us to not point the finger, but ultimately to educate. This is where the Republicans have failed. And I have said multiple times this. The Republican Party has failed on border issues. Meanwhile, the Democrats are putting their NGOs, their centers of attentions, and their progressive mercenary white liberal activists consistently going to Mexico and brainwashing our people and getting access without our government of Mexico having some kind of punishment for them acting illicitly and incentivizing these kind of acts. The Republicans are sleeping at home. They're not even going to the border. They're not even educating the people. To the migrants that they're coming in, whatever happened to the Republicans welcoming the migrants that they are doing the process that they have been waiting for years? Where are those Republicans going to the border and saying, hey, you just did the process correctly. You just came into the front door. Welcome to the United States of America. This is a banner, a small banner for you to get a job. This is where you can get a job. What do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a carpenter. Oh, okay. We got this job. We can offer you to this places so you can go to work. Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to these Republicans going to the border and doing something about it? They're sleeping at home. They're sleeping at their political seats. And this is and they want the political Latino vote. The ridiculous part about it, the Republicans want the Latino vote without doing anything about it. Without helping, without educating, without going, but this they want to signalize, this, you are doing this. Yes, but you're not even helping. What are you doing to fix the problem? What is it being done? And this is where the Democrats have taken advantage of it. And the NGOs are taking advantage of this. The NGOs already have established themselves on the whole perimeter of every border in Mexico. And the leftist progressives in Mexico are accepting this because they see this as, we don't care. That's the problem. That is the problem. When you're using our people, this is a comment right here. It says, it sounds like the United States is fixing their labor shortage problems. I don't think so. It sounds like a replacement theory. And it is not even a replacement theory. It is a reality. I'm a Mexican. I'm a Latino. You look like you're white. I'm just telling you what it is. And this right here, it looks like your political party of the Democrats, it is using our people for your political gain and votes and your agenda. It looks like these NGOs that they are slightly and they are all the way to the left, progressively to the left, and the Democrats. It looks like they're using our people for your political gains and votes and agenda. It looks like instead of helping for asylum, instead of helping them for shortages of works, of jobs, like you're saying, it looks like their number one purpose is for them to think about this and immediately after they come into the United States vote for Biden. They don't care if they get a job or not. What they think is, man, you need to vote for Biden because if you don't vote for Biden, we're going to close. And it says right here, let me just put it again on screen for you and read it again on screen for you to understand what I'm talking about. It says right here on the bottom, says reminding you to vote for President Biden as soon as you arrive to the United States. We need another 4 years of his presidency to remain open. Because if we don't remain open, the business is done. We're not going to be able to use you anymore, migrant. We're not going to be able to, get money. Not only that, well, we're not going to be able to help you, right? And ultimately, at the same time, well, we're not going to be able to just provide you a job, right? Isn't that quite of a business? It's just unbelievable the way that this is working. We just discovered the NGO HIAS, and it's just completely appalling what they're doing. What they were doing in the Darien Gap is completely disgusting. We found a map in the migrant camp of Bajo Chiquito just coming out of the Darien Gap that says promoting the route where they should enter through Colombia, where the Colombian cartel operates, and they're promoting this. We also were the ones that we discovered the rape kits of the United Nations giving out pregnancy pills, Plan B pills, and condoms to men before they enter the Darien Gap. And now this, you have a migrant camp that instead of just helping and telling the migrants this is for asylum, for you to get a better job, for you to go to the United States, for you to just enter this way, the CBP one, and all this stuff that is going on. Just rub it in there, man. Tell them to vote for Biden. Just rub it in there. But they're not using us. No. No. You're creating hysteria, Oscar. You're fear mongering. That's such a conspiracy theory. You're such a xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronounphobic, fatphobic. You're such a racist, fascist, narcissist, bigot, and Zionist. You're creating violence with your speech, Oscar Blue. Isn't it right? That's your statement. That's your defense. Other than that, give me another defense. Other than that, give me another response. Get that language dictionary, leftist stupidity language dictionary, out of your mind. When you get it out of your mind and you get it out of the dictionary, provide me an answer for this. Are the migrants being used or not? And why they are being instructed to vote in an election where they're not allowed to vote? Why they are being instructed to vote in an election that is for president, and the only ones that they can vote for president are U.S. citizens? Why they are being instructed to vote and exposing that to and be instructed to vote? And when you are being instructed to vote, you're committing an illicit act because you are not allowed to vote. So you're telling these people to already commit an illicit act when they're entering the United States of America to look for a better job, to look for a better opportunity, but you're telling them to vote for president when they are not allowed to vote. For God's sake, holy cow. And we are looking at this NGO like it's helping, like it's doing something for humanity. Unbelievable. How's everybody doing? Ugh. Sometimes it's really exhausting to see this, man. I've been seeing this for years now. And I have said this multiple times. I remember the first time that I started seeing that the NGOs were part of this problem. I was at a migrant camp where a lot of progressive mercenary Antifa activists, white liberal activists, they were agitating and completely attacking the authorities of Mexico and defending the migrants, but they wanted to bring their agenda. And there was a lawyer from the ACLU outside, and I went over there and I asked her. By the way, this lawyer had on the back of her T-shirt Republicans, and with the Kens, he had three Ks, like the KKK, where the Democrats were the ones that they built the KKK, but no. But all right. So this says this way. I went up to her and I said, "What are you guys doing here?" Because for me, it was weird. First, when I started seeing, I was like, "What the hell are you guys doing here? You're American. What are you doing over here? And why are you not being, why these Americans are not being arrested? They're basically destroying private property. They're incentivizing violence, and they're foreigners in Mexico. Why they're not being arrested and why they're not being stopped?" And she immediately said, "We are here to help." And I said, "This is not help. Why is this help? I don't want to talk to you." I'm like, "Who are you to tell me that you don't want to talk to me? I'm asking you a question. What are you doing here?" Since that moment, I realized that these people were using our people for their radical anarchist progressive agenda. Radical anarchist progressive agenda. Now, somebody was asking, where's the outline? Well, I will I will encourage you to learn some Spanish. That way you can learn how to read the outline. But it's obvious right here. It says, I will read it for you in Spanish so you can understand it later. And you can use ChatGPT or whatever you want to use. It says on the bottom, right here. It says, recordatorio para votar por el presidente Biden cuando estés en Estados Unidos. Necesitamos otros 4 años de su mandato para permanecer abiertos. So, if you don't believe me what I'm saying or what I'm translating, I have my phone right here. And I use the ChatGPT app every once in a while. So, I will say right here to ChatGPT, and I can't see it, it's too small. Do your Google search and do your research. I'm not your worker. Do yourself. So I will say this to ChatGPT. Can you translate this text from Spanish to English, please? Says, of course, please provide the text you'd like me to translate. So I will translate the whole text. So you can, so I can read it to you. El Centro de Recursos es un complejo de oficinas de 6 unidades que es el hogar de, let me write down HIAS, que brinda asistencia legal y asistencia para obtener documentos formales para la búsqueda de empleo y la integración a la ciudad de Matamoros mientras esperan acceder al proceso de asilo a los Estados Unidos. Punto. Apoyamos el equipo legal por todos los medios posibles, incluido el acercamiento al campamento para entregar documentación o reunir a personas para consultas antes de sus audiencias. Punto. Recordatorio para votar por el presidente Biden cuando estés en los Estados Unidos, necesitamos otros 4 años de su mandato para permanecer abierto. Let me just translate this. Now I'm doing this for the people that they say, you know, I can't see it. It says right here, translated, a chat GPT. Says the resource center is a complex of 6 units, offices, that is a home to HIAS, which provides legal assistance and assistance in obtaining formal documents for job search and integration into the city of Matamoros while waiting to access the asylum process in the United States. We support the legal team in every possible way, including approaching the camp to deliver documentation or gather people for consultations before their hearings. Reminder to vote for Biden, for President Biden, when you are in the United States. We need another 4 years of his term to remain open. Oh, and let me just remind you right here on the bottom right here where you see this, it says todos con Biden. It is a slang that is being used right now for Latinos, that it means everyone with Biden. I don't know if it is already enough for you to be translated, just for everybody to understand. So, how's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. It is a pleasure to be talking to you guys. It doesn't surprise me at all because I called it years ago when I started this. I called it years ago, and I remember saying they're going to use these people for votes or to destabilize a voter. They're going to use our people to vote for a political party and completely dethrone another political party and completely eradicate that political party, as it is happening right now in Mexico. The opposition in Mexico is completely disappearing because Morena is basically have taken over the country. The leftist political party, it is just completely taken over, as it is happening right now in the United States of America. Republicans are being dethroned, and the only help and the only hope that the Republicans have is that they run the Senate, although you have the Uniparty, and also in Congress. You have a few in Congress that they stand for what is right. But ultimately, you have the Democratic Party that there's overruling everything. And now it is more than obvious of what they are trying to do with our people. It's not about bringing them to a better life. It's not about helping them for a better life. In the eyes of HIAS, the NGO HIAS, is to be used for them to vote for one political side, that is Joe Biden. That's it. The most incompetent president in the history of the United States of America. The most incompetent president that doesn't even know that Mexico, it is not located in the Middle East, and it is not at war with Israel. Because he said, I talked to the Mexican president to open the doors of Gaza and Egypt, for God's sake. And everybody's saying, oh, he made a mistake. But if one Republican would have made that mistake, oh my God, it would look, this is how incompetent, la, la, la. I'm just saying things that are actually factual and truth. Right now, the Latino population in the United States of America are clearly in favor of not voting for Biden right now. They're extremely tired. They're exhausted. I was talking to a few of my liberal family members and Democratic family members, and they are all exhausted. They cannot keep up with this inflation, particularly in California. And they're seeing the disaster that this man is causing to the country. And ultimately, the inflation of, everything. The cost of living is just impossible. But, that is what they want, a communist system or a social system, which, we already know that it does not work. We already seen what has happened in several countries that they are progressively using this, and they are justifying their complete destruction and mistakes to the sanctions. That's what the dictator from Venezuela is saying. This is not because of communism, it is because of the sanctions all the time. So I will ask this dictator, if the sanctions would have been released, will you leave power? And of course he would say, no, I won't, because he wants to stay in power and have more power. This is how dictators are. They will not leave until they die. Sad to see this. I will do a video in Spanish now, but sad to see this, that our people are being used. And I have said this multiple times. Multiple times. Our people are being used for their political. We are the cheap man labor for these political parties. Both of them. I'm not even saying Democrats only. For Republicans also. Instead of fixing the problem and instead of creating the problem, we're not helping at all. The problem is not getting fixed. And ultimately, it is aggravating by the moment, and it is getting more difficult by the moment. Both of the political parties are not doing anything to fix this. This is the way it looks now. The problem has exacerbated. You have a border that is completely destabilized, an uncontrolled border. You have a border that you have a massive trafficking of fentanyl. You have grown the cartel 3 times more bigger because the open border gaps, and you're letting people in through those particular places. Cartels getting much stronger, much richer, much powerful, more impossible to beat. This is what you create. And the consequences and the collateral damage is enormous. Let's see how this problem is going to get fixed, because holy cow, to fix this problem, it is going to cost. To repair is going to cost a lot of time. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. It has been a pleasure talking to you guys on this manner. How sad it is, man. Continuously, our people are being used. That's what infuriates me the most. That these NGOs, these political parties, they just use us as obstacles. That's about it. Stay safe. And like we have always said, people, God's plan, it is our mission. God bless.